you're welcome to AM Club right here on MX24. If you're just joining in, you make the right choice. You just missed quite a lot, okay? But you're welcome. And if you are just joining, you want to know what happened before now, just go straight on X. And right after the show, you can watch the entire show at the comfort of your home or wherever you find yourself. My name is Miriam Udwa Comensa. And we're getting into lifestyle daily segments of the show. And at this point, we have very important conversations. In conversations that, bother on the life of an average Ghanaian or even Ghanaians at large. So just stay tuned right here. Today, our conversation is on discussing, in fact, food allergies. And I've heard this before, but joining us for this, because I'm going to be conversating with him right now. So let me just introduce him already. I have should we just call you our resident doctor?
Please, no, like
our resident doctor, Dr. Michael Baini.
Thank you.
On social media, he's Papa Baini.
Yes, Papa Baini.
Yeah, Papa Baini. I love the Papa Baini.
Yes, that's what everybody knows me for. Paps.
Yeah, it's a cool name. It's very babyish and cute and all of that. I know doctors don't care about those things, but yeah.
Thank you. We care, but I do.
You do?
I do.
Good morning, how you doing?
Thank you, I'm grateful.
You know, when I put up the flyer, someone told me that, and I said food allergies, and this is real. Someone said food allergies there. I said it's kafoyare. Have you heard that before?
Yes, I have.
And I think it's very unfortunate.
I think it's because looking at the social structure.
Yeah.
People do have when you're in the bourgeoisie kind of a community, you have a lot of variety.
Yeah.
And the more you have variety, the more you're exposed to these food allergies.
Yeah.
So one of the most common food allergy we have is people taking lobsters.
Sure.
Lobsters, yeah.
Yeah.
So when people take lobsters, they do have food allergies. How many people have even tasted lobsters in their lives in Ghana? So you can see the more you have variety, then the more you are exposed to an allergen, and then you can have that particular one. And then also, I think parents of a higher social strata, okay, they are much more inquisitive.
Yeah.
So they will come to the hospital with it, and then we can diagnose it. So it's not like, it's Sikafo, but the person who, unfortunately, the person is of a lower social strata, they see it and then they just gloat over it because they can't go to the hospital because they think it's expensive to do some of these labs. Some of the labs are actually very expensive, so they feel like let's just change, because the treatment for food allergy is to change the food.
Yeah.
So if they can also change the food, it's just lifestyle. If they can change the food, that's all. But the person from the bourgeoisie family would want to actually know exactly what it is, even if at the end of the day it will still persist. They will still want to know. So that's why it looks like it's
Kafoyare. But again, then now let's go straight to what food allergies are. Okay. Is it when you react to food immediately, you eat it? Or all these things, all these myths about food allergies. We're gonna talk about that. But explain to us what food allergies are. Sorry.
So food allergies is an allergy due to the presence of food. Simple.
Right.
So what's an allergy then? Okay. So allergy is a reaction. Okay, whether short term or long term, due to the fact that you are exposed to an allergen. So the allergy is the full thing. What you experience, maybe some people when they take yams, they cough a lot. Some others when they take okro, they cough a lot, they have a lot of cold. Some others when they take something that is very cold, you see their face become very, very puffy. Some others when they take granules, they have a puffy face. Some others as well, when they also take granules, they have hoarseness of voice. So that particular symptom I've talked about, it's some changes that occurred in you due to the presence of an allergen. But in this particular one, discussion we are having, the allergen is introduced in food. Okay? Yeah. So let me give you very common. Even food allergies are not that common as compared to the one I'm coming to give you. They are very common, but as compared to this one I'm coming to give you, is quite uncommon. There are some people that immediately they go into an area where somebody sprays or there's a certain scent that is new, they do have reactions. Yes, that's also an allergy. But that one is due to a smoke or is due to a smell. But this one we are talking about today is in food. So different types of food have different reactions to people. And then also you can be exposed to the same food, but the reactions will differ from every episode. So the same person, he takes maybe a crustacean animal, be it crab, be it lobster, those type of foods. Today, the reaction will be that they'll have a lot of cold. Tomorrow, it will be hoarseness of voice.
Yeah.
Or it can be that immediately it comes all the time. It is hoarseness of voice, hoarseness of voice, hoarseness of voice. So it's not the fact that, okay, the last time it came as hoarseness of voice, today it came as this. It doesn't mean that it was not a food allergy.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a food allergy.
Okay.
So, I mean, succinctly speaking, food allergy is a type of allergic reaction that is due to the fact that an allergen was introduced in food. It's not that food is poisonous. No, the food is actually wholesome. Yes, it is wholesome.
Right.
But there's something inside of that particular constituent of the food that your body doesn't like.
Yes, because we've had, like you rightly said, someone says if I eat okra, but is it the okra or what is usually in the okra stew?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so I want you to break that down a little bit because I realize that you've already introduced yourself into it. So let's just break that down.
So a typical example is, let me use one that is very common. People with GCSPD, when you give them beans.
What is that again?
GCSPD. GCSPD is glucose-6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency disease. So this particular disease.
I had the A all the way at the MCR. Literally had the A.
So it's actually a very common illness, just like the way sickle cell is.
Oh.
It's also very common. So it's a disease of red blood cells. Or let me not say a disease of red blood cell. I'll say it's a disease of a constituent of red blood cells. It's a certain enzyme that is so vital. So when you eat, let's say, beans, you produce a lot of something we call radicals. Because the beans, the constituent of the beans, it has some chemical compound in it that produces a lot of free radicals. So your body has to eliminate all these things. Okay? So that particular enzyme tries to mop up those things. If it doesn't mop it up, you will start having some reactions. So in these people who have GCSPD, they don't have that particular enzyme. Therefore, the reaction will continue. So there are some people, when they take beans, their urine becomes black. They become sick immediately. It's not that common as compared to sickle cell, but it is common. At least I have had people when I was in SHS, they had GCSPD, so they don't used to eat beans. No, they'll never eat beans. So immediately they eat beans, it's like a spirit that has come over the person. The person immediately becomes sick, then goes to urinate and you start seeing something that is coming out of the urine, black, like total black. Like Coca-Cola, yes.
No,
Yes. That's how serious food allergies. It sounds very like it's bourgeoisie, but some parents don't even know that what their child, maybe their 5-year-old child, is experiencing is actually a food allergy. Due to GCSPD. But there are more common ones. But these ones are very, very common.
Common.
Yeah. Yes.
So, when this blood groups and what have you, they'll tell you that if you are being negative, don't eat this. This is not good for you. Would you attribute that to food allergies? Would you say that that's like food allergies showing up in a different way? You know, what would you call that?
For now, there are no concrete researchers that can support that. You know, we are in the social media world. People want to put out anything for a clickbait. So it's not substantiated. Maybe they found it in just a few people, but it's not something that is a generality. Okay. So I would not want to base my assertions or whatever I know on that. I know you can eat anything in this world. In fact,
no matter what blood group you belong
to. Group you are. Just that when you realize that, let's say, this food allergy, those ones they are talking about, it's not a food allergy. It's not a problem with food allergy.
Yeah.
They just feel that you should not take this particular. But looking at it, I don't see it as a food allergy. Neither do I see it, okay, it bars you, okay, because you are O positive or negative, it bars you from eating this food, eating that particular food. You can eat any food at all. Any food at all. for you to be able to know food allergies very well, or to be able to study it, I think the only way is you yourself. It's not even the doctor, because you are the one who would recognize that, no, when I eat this particular type of food, then I have that. I have this particular reaction. So back in the uni, my roommate never ate anything with corn because he had a reaction to it. So even before he even went to the hospital,
He knew
knew that.
I don't react
exactly.
well
So there are
with-
two ways. So either you find it yourself and stop taking those particular things, or you go to the hospital and we'll do something called an allergic panel. We'll be able to check. But just that these allergic panels are also not created by Ghanaians. They are created by outsiders. So we have bits and pieces. Sometimes there are lots of false negatives. Maybe they'll tell you that this particular, it is due to this, but it's not due to that.
Probably
Some
not.
of them it will be ban. A lot of us don't eat ban in Ghana, but you see ban on it, and they'll say don't eat that, don't eat that. But I mean, depends on you.
Yeah.
Everything, almost everything depends on the human being. I just mentioned just a few. I mean, I just mentioned beans, but there are lots. The other one that is very common, I want to mention is the yam, cocoyam, the green leafy vegetables like kontomire, and then okra. Some people do have that. They have serious allergic rhinitis and allergic reactions, where all of a sudden you see the person do that sound. Yes. So when you realize that you eat this particular food almost all the time after eating that particular food, or after going to that particular restaurant, when you go to that particular restaurant and you come out of that particular restaurant, you order this type of food. Immediately you come out, you realize that your ears is itching. Yeah, that's an allergic.
That's an allergic reaction.
Yes, that's an allergic reaction, or that's a food allergy. But just that you just don't know, because the food that we eat it's an aggregate of a lot of things, so you cannot easily
tell which one is giving this.
Exactly. That's what makes it so difficult to catch.
My God. Right. So my frustration is that does it ever go away? Is that a time that your allergies just stop showing up? And does it have a long-term implication on you? Like you realize that because I continue to eat, because I'm allergic to citrus, apparently. So if I take orange, pineapple, vitamin C, I would, it's not even funny. I get swollen up sometimes, I get migraines sometimes. So now you need vitamin C in your body.
Good.
So now I was redirected to grapes.
Good.
Which, by the way, I didn't really like.
Okay.
But then it apparently is introducing vitamins into my body, so that is good.
Good.
But after some time, my stubbornness, which is good for me because I love my stubbornness, I started taking pineapple juice if I need to. Like I would do it because if I have the headache, I knew that if I take the allergy pills, I'm good. So I'm going to take the pineapple, or I take it before I take the allergy pills before I take the pineapple juice, and then I stopped taking the pills because I was like, I'm a Jesus baby. Why am I doing this? But I'm sitting with a doctor, so I'm being careful.
Yeah,
I continued to take pineapple juice when I want to, and then I stopped reacting to it. But then the orange is still there. Does it ever go away completely, or that is like a bad effect on the person?
Just like allergies, people get used to allergies.
Oh
Yes. So this particular thing we're talking about, okay, it has got to do with the immune system of our body. Okay. So it's due to the immunological system. The immunological system is in such a way that it is very adaptive. Very, very adaptive. So the immunological system, we have two types. We have those ones that you came out from your mother's womb with. Your skin is an immunological barrier. Okay, your mouth, all those places are immunological barrier. Then when you come out and you come to Ghana, and you come and see the environment of Ghana, then you adapt a certain kind of immune system. Okay, that particular immune system that you adapt is very adaptive. That is what causes most of these things. So sometimes you get used to it, but a lot of times people don't get used to it. So when you realize it, then try and then stay away from it. Sometimes, I mean, just like yours is not really, yours is just a superficial type of allergic reaction. What I mean by that is it's not really deep-seated as compared to GCSPD, as compared to asthma. There are some people, when they take the okra, they triggers their asthmatic attack. So in such people, you don't want to risk it, because the more you get an asthmatic attack, the lungs actually become bad. So the more you get an asthmatic attack, the lungs become
your
bad.
Lungs.
Yes, it affects your lungs. That's the long-term effect of it. So it's not really directly related to food allergy, but the thing is that the effect of the food allergy may be long-term. So there are some people, yes, it's not really long-term. Some of them are very short-term. Some of them you don't even do anything about it. Just stay asleep or go back to sleep. By the time you wake up, all the symptoms are gone and you are fine. But some others, oh no, it's bad. It's bad. I remember when I was younger, way younger, I had a junior colleague of mine. Anytime she takes ice water, that is all. You see her face swollen, hand swollen, like yes. So such an one, she must not take. And that girl really liked cold water and then ice cream.
Because
so you see
hard.
her, or sometimes we thought that the girl used to do that to escape punishment.
Yeah.
So because she does that to escape punishment, so when she realizes that she's after break time she's going to be caned, or during class hours she's going to be caned, she just walks out, takes and comes out.
She knows about the allergies, so she's using it.
Exactly. Right. So that very one, it doesn't really have a debilitating effect on the person, long-term debilitating effect on the person. But those ones that are really related to diseases like GCSPD, like asthma. Like allergic rhinitis. When I say allergic rhinitis means nasal symptoms or an inflammation of the nasal mucosa. Okay, so some people immediately they take okra, you realize that they start having runny nose.
Oh.
Yes, that's an allergic response. So it's very common. People don't know because we've lived with it. And we are fine. It doesn't
That
really
is why I'm worried about the long-term effects, because if you listen, there was a time that I had a conversation with one of my friends. She's my young friend, and she was telling me about how she doesn't like kotomre. When she eats kotomre, she doesn't like the way her body feels. But they always give her kotomre at home. So now she started eating her rice without the stew.
Okay.
And to use the oil of the kotomre to eat the rice, because she doesn't like the way her body feels. And I asked the mom, because the mom is also a pretty young mom. Okay. And I said, so why don't you just treat it as an allergy and take kotomre? Oh, but kotomre is healthy. Who is allergic to kotomre? I'm like...
there are people that are allergic to it.
So that's why I'm worried about the long-term effects. Now, these nuts, chocolate. Someone is actually allergic to chocolate?
Yes. Who is this? I think I watched it in a movie. People who love Big Bang will know what I'm talking about.
Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
Oh my
Howard
God,
Wolowitz.
You are completely a nerd. But let's move on.
Howard Wolowitz had a food allergy. Anytime he took nuts, things that had nuts inside, or chocolate, he did have a food allergy. This other guy also had a food allergy. Sheldon's roommate.
Yes, Sheldon. I remember Sheldon.
He was allergic to lactose, or he was allergic to things that had milk in it.
Yeah.
So anytime he took milk, he was running.
So allergies, that's that thing people call, and I remember in school people used to flex. I'm
allergic to most of them are not.
Intolerant. I'm like, what's not a flexed disease?
It's not a flexing disease at all. Like lactose intolerance, there are some people that get used to it.
Oh yeah, now tell me about that.
There are some. Okay. I have gotten used to mine.
Oh.
Yes, I used to be it was that bad. But now I can even take tons and tons of it, and I'm fine.
And you're fine.
So
and
some
it's
people
not damaging anything in your body.
No, it's not. It's not damaging anything. Just that there are some people, it can have a very, very bad effect. Do you know that people can get these food allergies and go into an emergency? They become hypotensive, their BP shut down. Yes. Yes. In fact, the Big Bang Theory, Howard Wolowitz went to the hospital due to he taking chocolate. Yeah. So it's very serious. If you know that it's really affecting you, be very, very careful. One day you may not be lucky. So as ordained, we have to try
Yeah,
and reduce.
but you know what is even more strange, and I think we
Tell me.
touched on it briefly, but we'll get into that again. The ones that you cannot tell where it is coming from. Someone says, I'm allergic to spices, but I don't know which spices it is that keeps, because I eat food without spices, like the only spice in the food is onion, garlic, and ginger, and I'm okay.
Good.
But once they put all those extra ones, they would say it's natural spices, but all those other packaged ones, I react to it. But I don't know which one is making me react to it. How do you detect that?
So that's where it becomes a little bit difficult to be able to catch. So you come to the hospital and then we do something we call an allergic panel. So the allergic panel has an array. So it's a catalog of foods and food stuff that when people take, they have reactions to it. So you realize that a typical allergic panel will have on it maybe cabbage, cassava, cocoyam, name it. Quite a number of them. But in Ghana, we don't really have it. So the allergic panel is in such a way, or it is created in such a way that it is very, very related to the environment you find yourself. In Ghana, we don't have these test kits here. So the test kits that we do we use as an allergic panel come from outside of the country.
And the things that are indicated on it, we don't eat them here.
So sometimes we just play by the similitude. Okay, it's similar to this. So what the US will call cruciferous vegetable,
Which is?
it almost looks like contumely. So when they write cruciferous vegetable, when you see that and then they say positive, that means that you're allergic to it. We know that probably what you're eating is the contumely. Then we start asking you questions retrospectively to confirm what we've seen on the panel. But it's actually, we rarely take things that are, okay, I'm taking only milk. No, we don't do that. It's a mixture of things. Let's say Burkina. Burkina is a mixture of things. Millet, milk, quite a number of the sugar. Exactly. A lot of things put together to make up that particular one. So if you are reacting to Burkina, it's not the Burkina. Probably there's something inside of a Burkina that's really affecting you. Mind you, there are some people that are allergic to the raw milk. They are not allergic to milk, but the raw milk, they are allergic to it. So it must be processed before they take it. So there's something inside of the milk. It is not the milk that is actually causing it. There's actually a concern. I don't want to mention all those chemical compounds here. They are not really important. What's really important is recognition of it so that it doesn't become a very, very bad food allergy for you.
Now, so we've talked about the ones that show up like illnesses, but when you take milk, for instance, or anything, when you take any food that makes you want to throw up. So for instance, someone says, when I take Milo, I want to throw up, but I can drink tea, or I can drink cold Milo.
Good.
But when I take hot Milo, I want to throw up. Is that a food allergy?
No, it's not a food allergy.
Okay,
no,
what could that be?
No. Food allergies have a classic symptom.
Oh, okay.
Itchiness, body itchiness. Even sometimes, there are some people that have some skin diseases or some skin reactions that is due to the food they take. So sometimes when you come, based on what we are seeing and the questions we ask you, we say, okay, go and do an allergic panel and come. And sometimes, indeed, when you come, we just look at it and realize that, oh, okay, you're allergic to this. Have you realized that maybe when you go off this particular food for a while, the skin reactions go down? I said yes. So it's a classic symptom. So now I can probably go through it. Runny nose, itchiness of the ear, itchiness of your throat, itchiness of the eye, reddening of your eye. If you are very fair, you realize that the nose area is very red. Itchiness of your skin. It can go as bad as you getting dizzy because you become hypotensive. So when ladies start seeing dizziness, my God, you're in deep waters.
Then my parents should be beating me by now because I had different types of allergies, but I just hated the way I was treated like a special kid. So I didn't used to talk about them. Now the very recent one. So I'm going to ask a question related to it. Okay. Can you just develop allergies whilst you grow? Like you didn't grow with it, you were not born with it, but at some point in your life, even in fact at an older stage, you begin to develop allergies. you eat something and now you react to it. But this you probably was eating before, but now you eat it and you're reacting to it.
I think you want to look at the food again. It's a constituent. Maybe
Right.
you've introduced something.
Right.
Maybe you've introduced something. The body is
It was
sensitive.
there already.
It was
You
there.
just didn't have.
Yes, it didn't have the trigger.
Are you sure?
It didn't have the trigger. You didn't have the trigger. If you did have the trigger, you'd have actually realized that okay, there's something going on. Yes.
Is that so? So there's no way
You develop
in heaven you
no,
develop an allergy.
No, we don't. Things like that we don't easily develop them. No, we don't. At least reading around.
Reading
I
it,
have
you
not.
know very well for a
No,
fact.
you don't develop it. No, you don't develop. You don't
Allergies.
develop allergies. Yes, it's due to something about your immune system, and the immune system you grew. You came
With
from
it.
your mother's womb with it. So it's not. It's not.
And I actually was asking this question because it's me. So all of a sudden, I think starting last year, I started itching when I eat food like acheke. And I used to eat acheke when I was younger. I've always had tilapia.
The acheke that you were eating then, who was producing it?
Sometimes from my mom, some from Ivory Coast.
Now the acheke you're eating, where do you get it from?
It's obviously gone.
Thank you very much. Exactly.
There's something about it.
Exactly,
Oh, okay.
exactly,
All right.
exactly.
And then I also realized that, so I stopped using what you call unnatural spices. I stopped using them. So I don't use them anymore, like those cubes and what have you. I
Good.
don't use them anymore. I use the shrimps and I use the ginger, garlic, onion. Because when I use these spices, I finish eating, I'll itch the whole day.
Yes.
So if I want to be stubborn and I miss the taste of these cubes, then what I do is that I take the pill before.
Oh, so
Now
that it just dampens
It
the
dampens.
effects.
Dampens.
Okay.
But now let's come to the pills. People like me who are pretty stubborn, because my very good friend, Jim, actually told me to stop taking the pills and rely on early morning fastings and what have you, like, you know, stuff like that. Just manage the kind of things that go into your body a lot, because this itch, you don't know when the allergy pills is helping you, but then you're taking it a bit too much. What are the effects of these pills? Do they even have side effects at all?
Of course. It's a chemical. You are introducing a chemical that is foreign. It's not, your body is not used to it. That's not how your body is.
Yeah.
So the thing is that people think immediately you stop taking this particular drug, today it leaves your body.
Yeah.
Right that moment.
No.
No. And the thing is that the more you take, the more you take these drugs, you cumulatively increase the stores in your body. So it takes a while before it dissipates or it actually leaves your body.
Yeah.
So you may want to be very careful, because the more you take them, they reach toxic levels. And that's why we always put BD times 5 days, BD times 7 days, BD times 1 day, BD times, because we know that when you cross a certain day, we know that you are hitting some certain toxic levels that you don't want to. Any drug in this world, when you take it well, you are not going to see the side effect. The more you increase the doses of the drugs and the more you increase the frequency of taking those drugs, then you are actually increasing the chances or the risk of having the side effect. So every drug that you introduce your body can have a side effect, but the side effects are actually related to the frequency of taking that particular drug and the dosage of taking that particular drug. So you can take them, but be very careful how you do take them. Immediately you realize that today you've taken it. The symptom, some others, sorry, we don't say some people's. Some people, my sister will be laughing at me. Some people, Millicent.
Millicent laugh at him. He said some people's.
So some people, their allergic reaction can persist for days. The itchiness of the ear, oh my goodness, it can persist for days. So they'll be taking it for days. You realize that normally within 2 days, it should just go away. It's not going away. It's not dissipating. It's still there, persistent, indolent. Like, Charlie, it's still there. You have to go to the hospital. Let us sort it out for you.
But this is after you've taken the pills.
Yes. The people who know that they do have the reactions. We know. I, for instance, I'll give you maybe for 7 days, but I'll tell you, when you have the reaction, then you take it. Don't take it for the 7 days continuously. When you have the reaction, you take it. When it gets finished, come back to me. or when you are having it persistently, you are taking it for more than 3 days, then you want to come to the hospital. I will know what else I can do. It's not only the pill that we can do to relieve you of those particular symptoms. There are other things we can do.
What are those?
Oh, we can sometimes run some infusions. We give you some IVs that would actually dampen it. Those ones are just transient. Those ones we give you are cetirizine. They are just histamines. But there are other ones that can sustain you for a longer period of time. And those ones don't have a side effect. We can even give you a shot once, and that's fine. Rather than
and when you take that shot once, because I'm coming for one, when you take that shot once,
yes,
it can last you for how many months?
Oh, it depends on your system.
Oh,
it depends on your system. Yeah, it depends on your system. It depends. It's individualized. I always say that, the fact that this drug worked today for you on the first day doesn't mean that all the time when you come, it's going to, you're going to see the same thing on the first day. Sometimes it may change based on the fact that maybe you were taking some drugs before you came.
Now, it's good that now we are also introduced to foreign food.
Good.
So their tests can help us.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But with regards to the food that we consume now, what would be your advice to, because we're getting to that part of the conversation where you're advising, you're diagnosing, you're teaching us what to do regarding food allergies.
Good.
The things that we're eating, the local foods and the ones we import. Weighing the options, which one would you recommend more, especially for people who struggle with allergies and they're not quite sure what it is that they're dealing with?
I always say life is free. Hey, be free in life, but be cautious. One way to be cautious is when you are buying food, especially those ones that are already made and they are imported into the country. Try and read the labels. If you realize that you are someone who normally has this particular symptom I'm talking about, the itchiness of your ear, redness of your eye, itchiness of your eye, runny nose after eating this type of food. Maybe you don't even know that it is due to crab. But anytime you take, let's say, okra, when you take okra, you realize that you're having these symptoms. I beg you, anytime you're going to buy anything on the market, just read the label. Just read the label. Just read the label. The more you read the label, you realize that, okay, this is the constituent of this particular thing I'm buying. Over time, when you start taking it and you start having allergies, you will know that, no, it is one of these fives. So when you take another particular, let's say, a different brand or a different thing, and you realize that that same thing, or maybe two of them, were in the previous one, and it is here as well, know that those two, you're allergic to it. Then you actually refrain. Sometimes that's how to catch it. You don't catch it by just saying that, when I take banku and okra stew, that's how I find out that I have these reactions. No. Sometimes you have to track it yourself. The best is, I think the best is tracking, because we can ask you so many questions and memory is limited.
Exactly.
So when you come and sit in front of me,
probably don't even remember.
You don't even remember that 3 days ago, before you even had that particular reaction, it was some crab that you took, or it's some okra that you took, or some nuts that you took.
But which one is more common in Ghana from your experience with
the one I have
patients?
seen is the crab, the nuts crab.
People are allergic to nuts crab, in Ghana.
Yes, nuts, crab, and
why do I ask questions like this?
and kontomire. You should. It's so mind-boggling. You ask,
kontomire, I have some in my house.
Then I always ask them, so you don't eat this food? Say yes, I don't eat this food.
How do you survive?
How do you survive? Like that's how I've lived my life throughout. So you don't eat gobe? You don't eat gobe. I wanted to mention this name. He's currently in France. He can't eat gobe. He's just SPD positive. Yeah, a colleague of mine. So he doesn't eat gobe again.
So you put this your gobe campaign. He's not part of it.
Yeah. So I think one time I'm actually putting out. I want to put out an article and write. The title will be. I think I was going to write on food allergies. I think about some few months ago, I was going to write an article, and it was going to be about food allergies. The title was going to be, I don't eat gobe. I'm allergic to gobe.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, I wanted to use that as that because of my friend.
But then you're going to talk about food allergies in general.
But
But that would have been really exciting. So why didn't you write it?
Oh, it's there. It's there.
Okay.
Just that I've not yet. I have to garnish it. I have to just garnish it.
No, finish this and let's start talking about
yes,
it.
Please.
And you're going to talk about it here.
Yes, please. Why not? Why not?
Because you're our resident doctor, and we do this with you. If we go and do it anywhere else,
why
we'll
not?
have personal
I did for you.
So now, how do we manage these things? How do we handle ourselves? I know you've talked about tracking, making sure that, listen, we don't take too much of the pills. So I've taken my advice from there. I don't know how I'm going to obey that, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, just feel free. Just feel free. Eat it. I mean, for me, I think you should eat it if it's not going to really affect you. Charlie, eat it. If you just eat
That's why I kept. You've realized that. I asked you 3 different ways whether they would show up and damage some organ in my body, because that one, then we're staying away from it.
No. If because it's something that you put into your mouth. Normally it doesn't go beyond your GIT.
Right.
Yes, rarely. Food allergies, rarely.
No.
Unless it's really related to a body condition like asthma, like GCSPD. That one is very bad. It can affect your kidneys. Yes, the more you eat Bambara beans, the big type of beans, or any type of beans, as a GCSPD patient, know that you are killing your kidneys, because that black thing you see after eating your beans actually has something inside of it. It has a lot of iron, and it destroys the kidney. I don't want to mention the name of the disease. In fact, let me mention, because my friends are watching. We call it acute tubular necrosis. So it can affect you. So be very, very careful. If you are GCSPD, you feel fine, because, you feel sick, they send you to the hospital, you are back, but know that it can affect your kidney.
You're destroying.
Yeah.
And that's the extreme ones.
That's the extreme.
So we have the very basic ones, and we have the acute ones.
Yes. The acute ones, everything, all those things I was talking about are just the acute ones. Yeah. So acute means immediately. So most of the foods that we take, they're immediate ones. Yeah. But the ones that actually can really affect you are the long-term ones. Those ones that are really related to your GCSPD, asthma. Yes. Be very, 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 very careful. There are some people that when they take, aside the nasal symptoms, the itchiness of the ear, they have joint problems. Yes, they have joint problems with it. So, because there are some diseases called rheumatoid diseases. There are some people that.
But what are some of those things that you eat that could possibly, the people with those allergies, what are some of the foods they eat?
The most common are the ones I've mentioned. They have something, I don't want to mention it. They have something inside of them. Most of them have that particular chemical compound.
Right. Yeah, if you mention it, what? The Ghana Health Service will file.
It's too long.
Mention it, we'll figure it out.
Before you put me on Twitter, I remember the MP for, is it, I've forgotten his name.
Yes,
he mentioned it, is it Flocino? There's flocinosinipilification or something like that. I'm trying, but.
Please find that word for us. We'll mention it before we close. And I was like, but why would he even do that?
Charlie, I like him.
Why?
Think it's good.
But that
we need to learn English. You need to learn English. It's good.
Oh, good governance is what we are looking for. Bring the money. What's that?
But back to what you were talking about,
absolutely.
That you were like, what should we do?
Yeah.
Any allergic reaction, not just food allergies, any allergic reaction, the best treatment for it is avoidance therapy. My friends will know. We call it avoidance therapy. What it means is avoid the allergen. You avoid the allergen, then you avoid what causes the allergic reaction. Period. Absolutely. Period.
One of the things, and that's not what we're talking about today, but I just want us to chip it in because we're going to be discussing it one day on the show. The skin allergies. Good. These things sometimes are things we take in that show up on the skin. You just told us. Yes. But some of the things that we use on our bodies that...
Oh, yes.
I know a friend, because when we were growing up, they told us about how if you want to be clean and smell good, use lemons or whatever. But she will use lemons, and tomorrow morning she cannot even raise her hands, like boils everywhere, and it also showed up in how she treats lemon as a whole. She doesn't drink it. She doesn't know whether she reacts. She doesn't want to know anything about it because of what it does to us. Now, the mental aspect of this entire thing, this food allergy, have you had any history of people struggling with themselves because of...
Not in Ghana, not in Ghana. Ghana, dear Charlie, most of
we are good to go.
We are good to go.
Blacks are good to go.
Do you know why? It's because we are exposed to a lot of allergens in Africa. Yes. There's this particular disease we call ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. Very, very common with these Westerners.
Okay.
Very common with them. You can bring this same Westerner in Africa, it will stop.
So does the environment play a role?
Yes.
Oh my
The environment does play a role. I read a particular paper when I was in school. I think the penultimate year before I came out of school. We're talking about some South Africans, okay, that the white South Africans, they used to have Crohn's disease, okay. Then they moved towards the black area to stay there. All of a sudden, the symptoms, everything went away. And then the morale or the holding of that particular research is that in Africa, we are exposed to a lot of allergens. Now, let me explain to you why. You see, the difference between us, the sane people, and the unfortunate, imbeciles or the insane people, are that the insane person would eat even from the dustbin and will never fall sick. Do you know why?
I want to know.
Because his leg is on the floor. Because they put their legs on the floor, they're exposed to a lot of allergens. That's why they don't fall sick.
So they get used
a lot of antibodies. They have a lot of antibodies to fight it. And that's how come you would not easily see these food allergens in someone from Choco as compared to someone in East Legon. Because the Choco guy, the 9 the form.
Right.
Yes.
What that means, if you're watching and you don't understand, what that means is that you have to put your legs on the floor. Because we want to all eat anything.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the floor in your house. Oh.
No.
Like, let's say, exactly, you are going to, let's say, from your house to maybe 10 kilometers away from your house. Then you put your leg on the floor, like the way Kubola has been doing it.
Yeah.
Then you walk.
So
when you do it for a long time, you realize that you don't. So
Kubola like this, there are a lot of things he probably.
Yes, probably. I don't really know him personally, but I think he will tell you that he doesn't easily fall sick. He will tell you.
Someone did advise me at some point that, listen, you wake up in the morning, don't eat, drink water, use the loo, and do a lot of these concussions.
Okay.
It'll help cure this allergy.
Did it work?
Is that true?
Did it work?
It's not like I obeyed like that. Okay. Me, I told you this. Me. As I'm saying, the only thing that got me to sit up is a health scare I got recently. But no free why. Me, I'm not that obedient when it comes to these things. Okay. I'm not proud of it because I'm raising a child that I want.
But I think it doesn't. It's not really bad, is it?
It makes me feel very adventurous and happy because I'm doing what they told me not to do. Okay. So I was supposed to try this lemon, ginger, honey thing in the mornings to help wash my system. How does those things show up? Like, how does it work? I mean, do they even work at all?
So I would not. I'm part of the scientists that don't rubbish the African tradition easily. I think those things actually expose you because it's a concoction. So a lot of these things I introduce with the anticipation that your body gets used to it, so that the next time you take that foreign thing, it will not come again. Yeah. But Charlie, you know the job. You know the job for a lot of people. So you cannot use that as a generality. I don't think it works for a lot of people. If it did, are you telling me before someone comes to the hospital for a food allergy, the mother has not tried a lot of things? Yeah. Why did they? Yeah. So they've actually tried a lot of things that have actually failed, but their last resort was to come to the hospital.
So whenever your system begins to show up differently than it's supposed to, and you feel like you're reacting unusually to something, your best bet is to go to the hospital and get some diagnosis. It could be an allergy that you should be curbing before it escalates into something else. It usually does, right?
Yes, it does.
It
It
does.
can, but
It can.
it's when I was reading around, it's just about 1%.
1%.
But you'll be shocked. You'll
That
be
one,
part
you
of that
could
one.
be that 1%.
Now let me give you this particular one. When the I think your producer, I don't know which church he attends, but I think he has to open a church or something
Right.
like that, or your studio has to open a church.
Yeah, Jeff.
Because
you just
by
got
the
yourself a
time
new job.
by the time he sent me the invite that I should come for it,
Yeah.
I was sitting in front of a patient who had come down with an allergic reaction.
No way.
Because of a drug.
Oh.
Yes. His hands were swollen, but the nasal bridge was swollen. Yes. Most of the drugs. So we had to now. So this one, he came to the hospital. We found a way. Within few hours, all the symptoms went away.
Went away.
Yes. So I was like, hey, did he know that I was sitting in front of someone who had that particular?
I have a supernatural team. I have a
tell you.
supernatural team here. I'm
tell
very,
you.
very
tell
humbled by my team over here.
tell you.
They're amazing,
tell
extremely
you.
amazing. I want to give that to them this morning. But thank you so much, Doc, for coming through. Anytime you come here, you do justice to the conversations, and
Thank
we're
God,
super
thank God.
excited
I'm
to have
very
you
grateful.
as our resident doctor. Today, we've been talking about food allergies, causes, symptoms, and how to manage them. And we resorted to saying that, listen, if you notice that you react to something, don't be mimicky, just leave it alone. Avoidance therapy.
Avoidance
Apply the avoidance therapy. Just avoid the food. If you can, and you actually should, we recommend that. I hope you learned a thing or two right here on the show. My name is Miriam Uduak-Mensah. This has been the Lifestyle Daily segment of the AM Club. We're moving straight to the plug right after this. Doc, thank you so much. How do we connect with you if we want to?
So it's _ PAPABINEY, Papa Bini. It's very simple. PAPABINEY. My Bini is not the double N. This is the correct one. Anytime I say, people look at my face. But
because why not?
The correct
BINEY.
Yes, that's the correct Bini. In fact, if you don't understand, I'm the one who has been given the platform, so you can go.
I agree with you. And he's rude too. Thank you so much, Papa, for coming through. I mean, like I said, I always enjoy having a conversation with you. And you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We're moving, like I said earlier, straight to the plug right after this.